Hi everybody, welcome to your introduction to Mindfulness Meditation. My name is Susan, for those of you that don't know. This class is appropriate for anybody who is totally new to mindfulness meditation or meditation, period. It's for those of you that have been practicing even consistently for a while, but just need something to go back and refresh the actual details of the instructions. It's also for those of you that are members and want to join one of the live calls, haven't yet. This is the class to view before you join, because I don't go over the instructions on each call. We just move right into the meditation. So, what is mindfulness meditation? We hear that word so much, mindfulness meditation. What is it actually? There is a specific technique that I guide on the calls that I have been taught. And that is the technique that I will discuss with you today and give you the instructions for. This particular technique has its roots in Tibetan Buddhism. And the Sanskrit name for it is Shamatha Vipassana. Does that mean that you need to be a Tibetan Buddhist to practice this meditation? Absolutely not. This is why we call it mindfulness meditation now. It's mindfulness. So there's a couple of things happening here in mindfulness meditation, and one is the piece of focusing our attention, and that is the shamatha piece, the calm abiding piece. We have an object of meditation that we place our attention upon to anchor attention, to stabilize the ground of mind, to lightly focus and concentrate our attention. In this particular technique, it is the breath. So we don't try to manipulate the breath or force the breath into any particular pranayama or breathing exercise. We find a natural flow of breath. We softly anchor our attention there. Now, the other piece that's happening, that Vipassana piece, is the piece of open attention, awareness. So we stabilize the mind on a particular object for insight to arise. So if you just think about your day-to-day, mind is moving. At least I notice mine does. Constantly moving. And with the mind moving so quickly, it's difficult for clear seeing or clear insight to arise. This is why we practice just stabilizing the mind, focusing our attention on an object, and in this particular technique, that object is the breath. Steady, focus, for clear seeing to arise. That is the technique of Shamatha Vipassana, or in this case, mindfulness meditation. There are three main steps to this technique that I will go through with you now. Step number 1 is to take your seat for meditation. So this means assume not just the outer posture, but the inner posture as well, getting your body into a receptive state for meditation. That means, on the physical level, finding a place that is comfortable for you. So this meditation is not about pain. It's not about forcing yourself into some kind of pretzeled position. It's about finding a sense of comfort. So a chair can really be your friend here. If you need a chair in that particular moment, that particular day, maybe always, it seems, use a chair. Find a place where the mind isn't constantly thinking about, oh gosh, I'm in pain, I need to move, I shouldn't move, all of that mind chatter. In yoga, we call that manas, mind. Find a place where you can settle and that the sits bones can be heavy. So on a chair or on your meditation cushion. The recommendation, if you are seated on the floor, is to have the hips above the knees. So here is a suggestion. Right now I have a blanket because I'm traveling and I don't have a meditation cushion. So I take a blanket and I just roll it. Maybe once, maybe twice. And I sit my sits bones to the very edge of my blanket to allow my pelvis to slightly tilt and allow my knees to ground. So it's important that the knees are stable in your seated posture if you're sitting on a cushion. If one of the knees is floated up, find something that you can place underneath the knee or both knees so that that knee can rest and be solid, grounded on the earth. Over time, if your knees are hanging in the air, this will not be so friendly for the joints, the knee joints. So, you bring your sits bones to the very edge of your cushion. Slight tilt to the pelvis will help to elongate the spine, open up the chest, open up the shoulders. Hands on top of the thighs or the knees. And you hold the physical body not too tight and not too loose. This is a common phrase you'll hear in Tibetan Buddhist teachings. Not too tight, not too loose. So not too rigid, but not too soft. Just right. Spine is long and upright. If you can help it, if you can avoid resting the spine, resting your back on a wall or something to prop you up, do this. It's important to take that position. It's owning this space, taking up the space on your cushion, getting your body into that receptive state for meditation. Now here, the chin draws back just about an inch so that the head is resting directly on top of the spine. There can be a tendency, I know for myself, I'll turn to show you, that my head can sometimes go forward. So the invitation is to lift the chin, draw the chin back, head rests directly on top of the spine, lengthening through the crown, the back, the crown of the head, sitting up tall. And noticing that inner posture as well of holding it not too tight and not too loose. So when you notice the rigidity set in, oh, I have to push myself into a particular position. Not too tight, not too loose. Where can you settle and be comfortable? This is the first step to take your seat for meditation. The second step is to place the attention on the breath. You'll notice that word placing, and it's very intentional. This is a gentle placing of attention on the breath. The breath is the object of meditation. So we're not sitting there like focusing on the breath, furrowing the brow. It's a light touch of attention on the breath without manipulation of the breath. Natural flow, just noticing the breath flow in and out. And this is the object that will help stabilize your mind for meditation. So that's step 2. Place your attention on the breath. Step 3. When you notice the mind wander, which it will, label it thinking and return your attention to the breath. Simple, pithy, direct. That third step is to simply notice when the mind wanders. As many times as the mind wanders is as many opportunities to notice and gently guide your attention back to the breath. The mind will wander, that's its job. Every time you notice, it's in the noticing that identification shifts from thought to that which observes thought. So noticing, you identify with the noticer of the thought, thinking. Come back to the breath. It's like the mind goes, being dreamed. Past, future. Mind travels to the not now. When you notice, you're waking up from the dream. Label thinking. Come back. Gently placing the attention on the breath. So these 3 steps can change your entire world. My suggestion is to start out with anything that is digestible with your daily schedule. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes a day. If you can go for an hour, amazing. And if not, also amazing. Congratulate yourself for getting this far. There's one more piece to this meditation that is a talking point, and that I would like for you to know, especially before you join the live calls, if you're planning on ever doing that. This is an eyes open meditation. So if you have been used to practicing meditation with the eyes closed, the invitation here is to play with something different and just notice what arises. The point of having the eyes open in this meditation is to welcome all of the outside, the seemingly outside world, into your meditation. It is a gesture of openness, not closing the eyes or in any way shutting ourselves off to what is happening all around us. Eyes open, soft gaze downward, about 4 to 6 feet in front of you. If this feels like a lot in the beginning of your meditation, no big deal. Just let the eyes close if the eyes get dry. And when you feel ready, open the eyes again, soft gaze downward, 4 to 6 feet in front of you. You're not focusing on any particular point. It's a soft gaze. The object of meditation is the breath. So see how that works for you. And remember that all of this is a suggestion. It's an invitation. If at any time you need to move, get up, open the eyes, close the eyes, trust that and let that happen. Not too tight, not too loose. So we're riding that line of commitment and discipline, the line of the warrior. This is your introduction to a mindfulness meditation. I hope that it serves you well, and I hope that you feel ready and prepared to join us, hopefully, on the live calls. I would love to see you there, and if not, the intention is that it serves you on your own time, on your own schedule, wherever you are in the world. May we get clear in our minds and our hearts for the benefit of all beings.